I didn't get my first credit card until I was 21. And that is still the only credit card that I have. And I've had it for about a year. And I want to share with you what I've done to keep my credit score over 750. It dipped below 750 like once when I forgot to use it for a whole month. So that's on me. But other than that, it stayed above 750 the whole time. So I want to share with you my lazy method for maintaining that credit score. This is by no means financial advice. This is probably not what you're supposed to do, but it's what I'm doing and it's what's working, so I figured someone would probably be interested in knowing what I'm doing. The credit card that I got is a secured credit card through my local bank. A lot of smaller banks will have this option. There are some national banks that also have this option, but I decided to just keep it local. Basically how it works is I have that amount that I originally deposited and I can only spend up to that amount. So it's pretty low risk for the bank because I can't go over, well maybe I can, I don't know, I've never tried. I don't think I can go over the amount that I originally deposited. My credit limit is pretty low because I didn't have a whole lot of money on hand when I opened my account, so I only deposited $500. So $500 is my credit limit. And that does make it tricky for keeping my credit utilization low, which if you're unfamiliar with the term, credit utilization is how much of that $500 I am using and leaving on my balance for any amount of time in the month. They check it periodically, but you never know when they're gonna check it. So that is something that I will come back to later. That's a little trick that I do to, yeah, anyways, I'll come back to that. So it is kind of hard for me to keep my credit utilization low because I do only have that $500. So in order to keep my credit utilization low, I have to have like maybe $5 or $10 on there when they happen to check it, which that is why my score dipped that 1 month, is because I completely paid off my card and then they happened to check the utilization during that window before I bought something else. And so then my utilization was 0 and they don't like that. So that is trick number 1. I pretty much always keep a couple dollars on my card, but I do make sure that I pay it off at least once during the month. I don't pay attention to like when my statement comes out and like all that stuff. Like sometimes they say pay it 15 days in and then like a couple days before the statement. I'm lazy, okay? I don't do that. I just make sure that I pay it off at least once during the month and then also keep a few dollars on there. But I only pay it off right after I bought something again, so that by the time that new transaction goes through, like hopefully they wouldn't have checked during that little window. And also something that I did last month was I just paid off part of the balance one of the times. Usually I only use it for very small transactions, so then I don't have to worry about them happening to check the balance while that larger transaction is on there. So I had bought something that was like 20 something dollars. I think it was like a restaurant bill or something. So I just paid $20 towards it and then I had like a few dollars left on there. So that is basically my entire strategy, is to just keep a couple dollars on my card at all times, but also make sure that I pay it off a couple times. So it keeps my credit utilization low but still existent, which is I think like 20% of your credit score. And on-time payments is like 30%, I think. So just making sure that I pay it off once or twice a month takes care of that. It doesn't seem to matter what day it's on or any of that. And then since I have only had it for a year, there also is like the age of newest credit part of it that they like when your newest card has been in the last couple years. So I don't know if maybe my score is going to dip in a couple years once this credit card is no longer new. But for now, I still have the new line of credit going for me. My diversity is poor because I only have the credit card. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have personal loans or any of that. So that, if I had that too, I might be able to get closer to 800, but 750 thereabouts is still pretty good in my opinion and most other people's opinion. And if I can maintain that with just the lazy, easy method that I've been using, I'm gonna do it. So if you are looking into getting your first credit card and you don't really know where to start by going into one of your local banks and ask them if they have a secured credit card, because for one, they're willing to give that to pretty much anybody because it's really low risk for them. And for two, it's a good way to start building credit without too much risk for you either, because if you just treat it like a debit card and make sure you pay it off a couple times a month and like don't abuse it, you can grow a decent credit score in not very long. And in my opinion, it's a pretty easy way to go. And maybe down the road you'll want to get a different kind of card, like a non-secured credit card. But if you're just wanting to build credit so that you can rent or get a loan if you need, I think a secured credit card is a pretty good option.